Emporia High School for the first day of the Glacier's Edge tournament, the 51st annual here in 2025, and it's the Emporia High Lady Spartans taking on the Wichita Heights Lady Falcons. And Emporia trying to bounce back from the home loss here against Hayden on Friday night, but they are going to have a tough task in doing so, and and if not arguably the toughest test of the season for the Emporia High Lady Spartans here in this home tournament, as they're going to take on the #1 team in 6A right now in the most recent KBCA rankings, being the Wichita Heights Lady Falcons. And this Lady Falcons team, no way to sugarcoat it, they are really good. They're 9-1 on the season. Their last 3 games have all been wins. It's 56-47 at Capon, 61-23 versus Wichita Northwest, who just finished up here today, taking a loss against Seaman, and then an 88-3 win over Wichita North. And so I think just from that alone, you can kind of tell, what's going to be in store tonight. This is again a really good Wichita Heights team. And this is in general, just a really good Glacier's Edge field. It usually is. You have #1 and #2 in 6A. Obviously #1 being Wichita Heights, and you have #2 in 6A being the Derby Panthers, and then you have #1 in 5A, the Seaman Vikings. So again, as we talked about, just finish up that game, getting the win over Wichita Northwest in blowout fashion. And for Emporia, this is just another game of the gauntlet. These Emporia High Lady Spartans, they have been brought through the ringer when it comes to opponents this year. This will be the 5th game against a currently ranked team that Emporia is going to play this season. They've already played #1 in 4A twice, that being Hayden. They played #2 in 5A, currently being the Hayes Indians here at home. Then they went to Washburn Rule and played #5 in 6A. And then, again, obviously tonight it's #1 in 6A in Wichita Heights. The Lady Spartans 1-8 on the season. They played a good first half at Washburn Rule, but ended up not being able to come up with that one there in the second, 55-24 in Topeka there. Then got their first win of the season at Wichita Independent, and then as we talked about, the most recent loss here at home to Hayden, 56-16. It was the first league game at home for Emporia this year. Again, Lady Spartans, we'll see if they can bounce back. And this is a team that plays solid defense at times, and against good teams has had some decent starts. Against Hayes, they knocked down a 3-pointer from Jada Geary to start that game right off. And then in Washburn Rule, led by as much as 8 in that first half. So we've seen this Emporia team start off well against some good competition this year. The question is, can they keep it going? But it's going to be a tough task tonight here in day 1 of the Glacier's Edge. We'll be right back here for the tip-off. You're watching Spartan Basketball on E-Town Sports Network. Back here in Emporia, and here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Wichita Heights Lady Falcons, head coached by Kip Pulliam. It is senior number 3, Kennedy Jackson, senior number 13, Kamira Barber, senior number 22, Zari Walker, senior number 23, Samaya Ellis, and senior number 33, Heaven Gilbert. And for your Emporia High Lady Spartans, it is freshman number 2, Jada Geary, sophomore number 5, Bailey Wiltz, freshman number 11, Macy Davis, freshman number 13, Sydney Beheimer, and senior number 25, Adea Hefner. That rounds it out for the Lady Spartans here. And again, as we talked about here, for another tough test at home tonight. Day 1 of the Glacier's Edge Classic here. Emporia, the 7 seed, Wichita Heights, the 2 seed, and the Lady Spartans looking for the upset tonight. It'll be Davis and Barber for the tip. Davis with a 2-inch advantage at 5'10", Barber at 5'8", and Davis is going to win the tip for Emporia. It'll go to Jada Geary, who will run the point for the Lady Spartans, and they have a chance here to set the tone against this Wichita Heights team. On the right wing will be Wiltz. She looks for a cutting. Beheimer found her, no good on the shot. Rebound goes to Kennedy Jackson of Wichita Heights, and the Falcons are going to move it quickly. Pulling up from the free throw line is no good from Samaya Ellis, and Macy Davis will grab the Emporia board. So 0-0 through the first 2 possessions here in this game. On the left wing is Sydney Beheimer. She now looks for a cutting Wiltz. It goes out of bounds and goes right back to Wichita Heights. Running the point for Heights is 5'8" senior number 13, Kamira Barber. Walker holds it, gives it off to Ellis. Barber now will unload from 3 to start the game off, and she knocks it down. And Kamira Barber opens up the scoring tonight. We're going to see a Wichita Heights press as well. Beheimer's in trouble, gets it to Wiltz. Emporia's got room. It's deep up to Hefner. Emporia breaks the press. Hefner's going to move, spin, look to put it up, gets it out Beheimer. Beheimer kicks it out to Aguirre on the corner. And Emporia settling things down now after quickly trying to move through that press. 6.5 to play in the opening quarter. It'll be Beheimer holding it on the wing. Up top to Davis. Davis drives inside, puts it up through contact, and draws the shooting foul. So Macy Davis will go to the free throw line to try and get the Spartans on the board. The first one from Davis rolls off the right side of the cup. Davis leads Emporia, averaging 7.6 points a game. Had that big game at Independent with 25 as she knocks down the second. So 3-1, 2-point Heights lead. Barber once again will hold it off to Jackson. Inside, Gilbert, right back out. Corner to Barber, cross court is Jackson, and no good on the floater. And the Emporia defense, aside from a 3-pointer, holding up pretty strong here early. Wiltz moves it quickly, bounces off Aguirre, nearly had it stolen, able to hold on. As Aguirre will try to set things up now for Emporia. And they have a chance to knot things up if they can knot in a shot here, but now it's a jump ball, and that's going to give it back to the Falcons. It is Samaya Ellis now bringing it down for Wichita Heights in the red. Jackson gives off to Barber up top. Barber drives inside and pulls up and good from the free throw line. And Kamira Barber has the first 5 Wichita Heights points, 5-1. Emporia breaks the press. Aguirre, Euro step, no good on the floater. Fight for the rebound, and Wichita Heights gets it. It was Gilbert diving for it, and Wichita Heights will move quickly the other way. Inside, now it's a shot, no good from Ellis, and Loose ball. Aguirre eventually comes up with it, but Emporia's really got to get this across. And eventually they do. Wiltz across. Davis looking, feeds Hefner inside. Hefner trying to spin around. Gilbert kicks out. Beheimer for three. Too much. So it remains 5-1. Barber again with the first 5 Wichita Heights points. Tries to feed it inside. It nearly goes out of bounds. It's saved, but right to Emporia. Off to Davis on the elbow, trying to work around 3 Heights defenders. The fast break goes the other way. Jackson fouled by Davis and knocks down the shot. It's good from Kennedy Jackson, and it'll be the first Emporia foul of the game. It's on Adea Hefner.
Smart foul is called on Adea Hefner. That's her first personal, first team foul. Entering the game for the Falcons, number 2.
We'll see the first change from either team now, and it's 5'8" sophomore number 2 Destiny Mays in for Samaya Ellis. And the free throw rolls in. Jackson with 3. Emporia gets it in, trying to work past the full court pressure again, and Wiltz draws a foul down the sideline on Kamira Barber. It'll be Barber's second, which is important there. She already has 5 for Wichita Heights, and that'll force her to have to take a seat for 5'6" junior Terry Brown. Beheimer into Davis, up top Aguirre. Aguirre directs traffic. Gives it off to Davis, who drives into the free throw line. Now off to Wiltz on the wing. Gives it out Aguirre. Aguirre thought about stepping back for 3. It's right back to Wiltz. 3.5 to play in the first. And it'll be another Heights foul. This time on Kennedy Jackson. So that'll be 3 team fouls for the Falcons here in the first. It's the first on Jackson. They get it in to Aguirre. Aguirre crossing over with the left. Inside goes Davis. It's poked away. Fast break again now for Wichita Heights. Jackson will try to go all the way. No good. Rebound and a foul down low. I believe it'll be on Macy Davis of Emporia. And it is. The first on Davis and the second Emporia foul of the quarter. Now it'll be the first Emporia high change. It is Ryan Howe in for Macy Davis. It's into Gilbert on the corner for Wichita Heights, and no good on a running floater, but it's a rebound by Mays, and now there's a stoppage down low. So we'll reset after the stoppage. And Heights will have it up 8-1. Up top Walker, across to Mays. Mays trying to find somebody, eventually finds Gilbert. It's Ellis. Inside now, feeding Gilbert, trying to work around Wiltz, and Gilbert's fouled. It's the first of the night on Bailey Wiltz, and that'll even the fouls up at 3 apiece for each team.
At the line for the Falcons, Gilbert will shoot 2.
And the first free throw misses off the left side. And now both teams will make a change. It's Kennedy Jackson back in for Wichita Heights and Macy Davis back in the game for Emporia High. The second free throw misses short. Ryan Howe grabs the Emporia rebound. Aguirre sets it up at the E. Davis works around Mays. A ton of contact and now a loose ball. It will be Jackson bringing it the other way after the forced turnover, and she pulls up from the free throw line. It misses short. Rebound and putback no good, and now eventually it's a foul on the putback from Gilbert. So Heaven Gilbert will go to the free throw line, and it's the fourth Spartan foul of the first quarter. And it's the first on Beheimer, so Emporia at the very least spreading the fouls out here. And Gilbert's first, nothing but net.
Spartan substitution, number 3, Kinsley Hines.
Kinsley Hines enters the game now for Emporia. The second free throw, nothing but net as well for Gilbert.
And for Wichita Heights, number 42, Hallie Clemens.
And now Hallie Clemens enters the game for Wichita Heights, so they're going to make a lot of changes after waiting a while here to start the game. Howe picked up the dribble early and was in some trouble, but gets it off to Aguirre, who will eventually get things across half court. Emporia High in the 10-1 hole. Hines cuts the short corner and receives the pass from Beheimer. It goes right back to Beheimer now, who's trying to search for Aguirre on the backdoor. Cut, eventually tries to throw it. It's taken away by Terry Brown. Brown goes the other way, backside pass to Jackson, works around Hines and leaves it in. 5 points now in the first quarter for Kennedy Jackson, as it's into Hefner, and we're going to get an Emporia High timeout here with 1:37 to play in quarter number 1. We'll take a break and be right back with Spartan basketball on E-Town Sports Network. Back in Emporia, Lady Spartans in an 11-point hole here to start this one off at 12-1. And really have had to force Wichita Heights to work for most of their buckets, or at least try to work for it from the free throw line. But Wichita Heights, to their credit, has responded well, and now they force a double dribble. Jackson sets it up from midcourt. It's on the left wing to Hines. Hines, cross court Jackson, thought about the three, now takes a dribble and sets it up, and it misses. Out of bounds, Emporia is going to get it back.
Spartan substitution, Macy Davis.
And now Macy Davis returns for Emporia. Ryan Howe will check out of the game. It's Aguirre bringing it down once again. She's going to be trapped, and eventually it's a jump ball, which keeps it with Emporia.
Jump ball possession, Spartans.
It's bounced into Aguirre, and Now they get a Wichita Heights foul. It'll be the 4th fouling foul of the quarter, and it was
Second
on
foul is called on
who?
Destiny
It was
Mays. That's
on
her first personal.
Destiny Mays, the first
Fourth
for
team
Mays
foul.
here of the game. With 53.9 to go in the opening quarter here for the Glacier's Edge for each of these teams. Bounced into Hefner on the corner. Hefner in some trouble, and it's poked away, and they say Emporia High basketball still. Aguirre will search for an inbounds pass from kind of the corner of the court there. It's in to Wiltz, who works around, sets up mid-range. It's no good, and they try to fight for the rebound from Clemens, and they tack Wiltz with a foul. And that should send Hallie Clemens to the free throw line for Hayden, as it's the second foul on Bailey Wiltz here,
Smart fouls on
nearing
Bailey
the
Wiltz,
end
her
of the
second,
first.
and a fifth team foul. At the line for the Falcons, Clemens will shoot 2.
And the first free throw
Starting
misses from
substitution,
Clemens.
Sydney Beeheimer.
And with that, Sydney Beeheimer re-enters the game now for Bailey Wiltz, who's going to have to be careful with 2 early fouls. Second in scoring for Emporia with just under 5 a game. And the second free throw misses short, but Wichita Heights is going to get the rebound and keep it. Ellis steps into a 3, no good. Fight for the rebound again, and it goes out of bounds, Emporia High basketball. Full court pressure continues for Heights. It's in to Davis, right back to Hines in the middle of the court to Beeheimer, and she's fouled by Terry Brown. And that will send Sydney Beeheimer to the free throw line. It's each team in the bonus here for the final 23.5
Beeheimer will shoot
of
2.
the first quarter. And the first free throw goes for Beeheimer
Return for the Spartans, Riley Howard.
to end a 9-0 Wichita Heights run. Shoots for the second, and it's good. Beeheimer goes 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. 20 to go. We'll see if Heights tries to hold it here for the final shot of quarter number 1. Up 12-3. In the corner, Jackson. She shoots around Hefner and misses, and the rebound goes to Hefner. Emporia's got 7 to try and draw something up. Aguirre moves it, bounces it into Hefner, lost it. Clemens at the buzzer, heaves, no good. And so that ends the first quarter here. It's Heights with a 12-3 lead. We'll take a break and be back with second quarter action on E-Town Sports Network. Well, we return for second quarter action. It'll be the Lady Falcons here with the basketball, up 9. But Emporia had 2 free throws from Sydney Beeheimer here to cut it down after it was 12-1. Good ball movement early in the quarter from Heights. It's Ellis inside, tries to find a cutting Walker, and eventually Aguirre was there to intercept it, but it went off her foot and out of bounds. Kind of an unlucky roll there for Emporia, and it'll allow Heights to keep the ball here with 7:42 to play in the quarter. Jackson on the wing. Across to Ellis. Ellis trying to work around Aguirre, now uses a screen. It leaves Ellis now working around the 5'10 Hefner up top. Now the shot no good from Barber, who had to sit a lot of the first half, and despite that had 5 points as she has 2 early fouls. And with 7:15 to play, Lady Spartans will have it back, and they can cut this thing down to 7 or 6, but Hefner's shot blocked there on the other end of the court by Gilbert. Moving quickly is Ellis, no good. Rebound Davis, nearly had it poked away, but it goes to Beheimer. Gets it off. Wiltz gonna try to go coast to coast, draws a foul, and no good on the floater. Well, Emporia yet to put a field goal on in the scorebook here, but Lady Spartans have a chance now to have 4 or 5 points from free throws, and again, knock this lead down a little more.
David Wiltz will shoot 2.
The first free throw off the back iron and bounced in for Wiltz, and she gets her first score of the night. The second good as well. Emporia shooting well so far. 5 for 6 from the free throw line here for their 5 first half points so far. And it's been crucial. And now the lead's down to 7. It's inside to Gilbert. Gilbert trying to work around Hefner and knocked it in. It was a good finish by Evan Gilbert, who now has 4. Pressure continues from Heights. Kind of startled Emporia early, but Emporia has gotten better at breaking it since. Now in goes Aguirre. Up top to Beheimer, swung around. Wiltz, catch and shoot for 3. It would have been a big one, but it had a little too much. Barber works through the middle, crosses over, kicks out to Jackson. Jackson will try again from 3, and it's nothing but net. And Kennedy Jackson quickly up to 8 now with a couple of threes. Wiltz across Aguirre, nearly lost and poked away by Kennedy Jackson. Emporia is going to keep it. But after Emporia worked to cut it down to 7, it was a quick 5-0 run by Heights to push the lead back out to 12, the largest for the Lady Falcons of the game. Beheimer holds it just to the right of the Spartan logo there on the left wing. It's inside Hefner, and good, my goodness. Through the contact, what a finish by Adea Hefner. It rolled off the top of the backboard. And Adea Hefner gets on the board to make it 17-7. Walker with good defense from Davis. It's inside Barber, now poked away by Hefner on Gilbert. Gilbert eventually gets it, goes through Emporia high defenders. Walker gets the rebound, Emporia pokes it away, but it's a foul down low, and it's either, I want to say it was on Hefner, it is, and that's a second for Hefner early, so Adea Hefner will have to be careful, and that's along with Bailey Wiltz for Emporia. From the baseline, it is Barber. Up top to Ellis. Right wing, Walker inside Jackson. Bounce right out to Walker again, who will try to spin and work around Wiltz, and Wiltz gets tacked with a questionable foul there, and that's going to be the 3rd on Wiltz. Again, as we talked about, the 2nd leading scorer for Emporia.
At the line for the Falcons, Walker shoots 2.
It's 2 free throws now for Zari Walker, and the first one rolls in to get Walker on the board. Ryan Howe and Kinsley Hines into the game, taking over for Wiltz and Hefner, who are each in foul trouble here in the first half with 5:08 to play in quarter number 2. And the second one goes for Walker as well to make it 19-7. Davison Aguirre trying to work around the press. It's stolen by Jackson. Backside, no good on the lay. Emporia moves it the other way with a chance to have numbers if they go quickly. And now they'll slow it down to allow Heights time to catch back up. Jada Geary looks over at head coach Taylor Scott for direction here on the play. It's in now to Macy Davis. He's going to try to work around Heaven Gilbert. And no foul through the contact there. Crossover, kick out to Walker. Walker, before she can do anything, it's an offensive foul on Heaven Gilbert. And it'll be the first on Gilbert and the first Wichita Heights foul here in the second quarter, which will warrant Destiny Mays coming into the game now for Gilbert, along with Hallie Clemens, as Walker and Gilbert take a seat. Geary in trouble, and it's a foul now on Wichita Heights. So it's the first of the night on Samaya Ellis. It'll be the third Wichita Heights foul of the quarter. Here, it's been a pretty physical one so far tonight. Almost halfway through the second, it's into Davis. Bounce across Beheimer. Emporia, if they can move, have something open. Now Hines stuck in the corner, and eventually it's a jump ball, which keeps it with Emporia. Terry Brown now enters the game for Wichita Heights, and it's for Samaya Ellis. It'll be Howe controlling it from the baseline. Looking and gets it into Hines, nearly taken by Jackson. Hines finds an open Howe now with Jackson trying to get the steal, but eventually Heights hustles to poke it away. Davis gets the loose ball. And they're going to say Wichita Heights kicked it there on the loose ball, so Emporia will keep it on a good hustle play from Macy Davis. Inside, Davis. Davis driving through, good Euro, and lays it in. Macy Davis with three, her first field goal of the night, 19-9. In goes Barber, that's going to be a block now on Macy Davis, and that's her second. So Emporia again, foul with foul trouble from leading scorers. It'll be 2 free throws for Kamira Barber, who has 5. The first one's short. Heaven Gilbert back into the game for the Falcons. The second one goes in. So Barber has 6. 20-9, lead at 11. And it's poked away from Aguirre, and Aguirre's fouled by, I believe it was Terry Brown. That's the second for Brown here off the bench, so likely we'll have to take a seat, but at the moment it doesn't seem like head coach Kip Pulliam is going to make any changes. Now he sends Samaya Ellis to the scorer's table, as Ryan Howe enters the game. Aguirre holds it off to Beheimer. Beheimer's pass tipped, and eventually the Falcons are going to get it. It's Mays. She's in a trap. And now Emporia wants the offensive foul. There's nothing. Barber, no good off the backboard. Gilbert, rebound, and draws the foul on the putback. And that's going to be the third on Adea Hefner. And so Emporia with key players. I mean, you have Wiltz and Hefner at 3 fouls, and you have Macy Davis with 2, and that's going to hurt if you're Emporia, as while Gilbert knocks in the first free throw, head coach Taylor Scott tries to plead her case there on wanting an offensive foul by the Spartan logo there on the right wing. The second free throw good from Gilbert as well, and it's the largest Heights lead of the game at 13. Now, if you're Emporia, you got to credit the Spartans After Heights let it get to 11, they really haven't let them extend it by more. They've had good fight. Now they find Hines backside, and Hines walked. Barber down at midcourt. Right wing is Maids, back up top to Barber. 2:53 to play in the quarter. Ellis for three. It's off the front of the rim, and Davis rebounds. Davis brings it down. And it'll be Aguirre, scanning again, and she draws a foul on Samaya Ellis. It'll be the second on her. And despite, it being a physical game, as that should send Aguirre to the free throw line. Wichita Heights had the fouls spread a lot more out. Meanwhile, whereas Emporia's fouls have been between three key players, and then there's one on Sydney Beheimer as well. The first free throw is long.
Following the substitution, Zari Walker.
The second free throw is in and out. So Emporia not able to capitalize, and it remains a 13-point lead. Mays off to Barber on the right wing. With Beheimer playing defense, Walker thought about the top, the key three. They swing it around. It's good movement inside to a cutting Barber. No good. Putback misses. Gilbert gets the rebound. Put back plus the foul. The foul's going to be on Aguirre. Gilbert gets it to go. It'll be Aguirre's first. Oh, no, they got Davis on that. I thought it was Aguirre coming from behind. I'm not sure what Davis did, but that's huge for Emporia because that's the third on Davis, and it would have just been the first on Aguirre. And, again, I'm not sure how Davis got the foul there. It was most definitely a foul, but I thought it was on Aguirre there. But that's big for Emporia now. 3 of your top 4 scorers have 3 fouls. That's Davis is fouled by Destiny Mays. It's the second on Destiny Mays for Wichita Heights.
Foul is called on Destiny Mays for second personal. At the line for the Spartans, Kinsley Hines will shoot 2.
The first free throw from Hines is long, and now Audrey Cunningham will come in for Macy Davis.
Number 15, Audrey Cunningham.
The second short, so after Emporia was 5 for 6 from the free throw line to start off, the Lady Spartans have gone cold from the stripe. Just under 2 to play in the half. It's a long 2 from Walker, and she got it to go. Zari Walker knocks it in, and now Heights up by 17 at 26-9. Emporia gets it across to Hines. Hines looking in trouble. And it's out of bounds. It will go back to Heights. Barber controls it. Now it's inside Gilbert trying to work around Howe. Up top Jackson. Jackson tries to dump it off to Gilbert. Wasn't quite ready for it. It ends up back in the hands of Walker. Up top Mays. Mays catch and shoot. Money from 3. Destiny Mays' first 3 points there. And Heights up now 29-9. An 8-0 run. Aguirre in trouble off to Cunningham. Just under a minute now. Aguirre floater, good underhand, left-handed floater from Jade Aguirre. 29-11, it's Jade Aguirre's first bucket. 45 seconds now, Emporia in an 18-point hole. Gilbert up top to Mays. Now Barber unloads and it's short. Hines grabs the rebound. Walker trying to battle, get it back. Off to Cunningham. Cunningham working through traffic. Bounces off Aguirre. Aguirre moving quickly across Beheimer. Beheimer had it knocked away from behind. It was a good hustle play by Kennedy Jackson. 15 to go. Cross court, they find Walker, and it's good. So Zari Walker now with a quick 6 after not being on the board for most of the first half. 31-11, Heights leads it. Aguirre at the buzzer, got tipped, and it's short. And so 31-11, Wichita Heights leads it at the half. We'll take a break and be back with the stats. You're watching Spartan Basketball on E-Town Sports Network. Back here in Emporia at halftime, it is a 31-11 Wichita Heights Falcons lead here at the half in day one of the Glacier's Edge. And, I mean, for a lot of that first half, Emporia really battled well against the number 1 ranked team in 6A. But then things kind of got out of hand in the first half, and Heights went on a little bit of a run, and you see yourself the 31-11 score right now. But for the most part, Emporia was able to kind of keep it around that 8 to 12 range, and seemed like they had a really good chance at maybe trying to dig back here. But I mean, that being said, again, a lot of good flashes from Emporia leading the way. You know, they kind of spread out the scoring a little bit. It was Macy Davis with 3, and then Aguirre, Beheimer, Wiltz, and Hefner all had 2. And then for Wichita Heights, they kind of spread it out as well. It was Heaven Gilbert and Kennedy Jackson each with 8. And then Walker and Barber each had 6. And then you had 3 from Destiny Mays. But yeah, right now, Wichita Heights, they can hold on to this 20-point lead here for 16 more game minutes. They'll be heading on to the semifinal of this year's Glacier's Edge play. And, you know, for Emporia, most likely going to play Wichita South. I haven't seen what the final is, what the final's been of that game, but I believe that was the game earlier, not the one going on right now. And so, but that'll be the likely opponent for Emporia tomorrow. Just a reminder, E-Town Sports Network will be up in Wichita for the boys game against the Independent School, which this girls team got a win against earlier in the season. And then due to other obligations, we'll not be having coverage Saturday for day 3. And that's along with likely space constraints as well, if there's a possibility of being in the JV gym on that Saturday. But that being said, that concludes here from halftime. We'll come back with third quarter action on E-Town Sports Network. Well, back here and just about 20 seconds away from this second half getting underway. And Emporia in the 20-point deficit at the current moment. But again, like we said, saw a lot of good things here early from the Lady Spartans. Just weren't quite able to piece it together for the whole half. We'll see what they can do to kind of try and climb back in this hole. And, you know, we've talked about it a lot, but you got 3 of the top 4 scorers for this team. That means Bailey Wiltz, Macy Davison, and Dea Hefner, all who picked up 3 fouls, which has kind of hurt this team as well, especially you could tell towards the end of the half, not being able to have those scores in, as it'll be Wichita Heights with the ball to start the second half. It is Kamira Barber off to Heaven Gilbert. Inside, Jackson takes 2 bounces, and now Jackson shoots for 3. She already has 2 and knocks down another. Kennedy Jackson, the first Falcon in double digits with 11. Aguirre moves quickly now, and it's poked free, but stays with Emporia. Wiltz searching, finds Davis, and Davis brings it back out now to set things up for Emporia. It's swung around to Wiltz. She's trying to feed Hefner inside. Eventually does. Hefner has to save it. Got it across to Wiltz. It was a good save. Geary looking and gets it off to Beheimer. Back up top to Wiltz. Emporia doing a good job here with this long first possession. And holding them off well, and eventually it draws a foul on Kamira Barber. And that is her 3rd for Wichita Heights. As you know, she scored an early 5, and now just has 6 as she had to sit a lot of that first half with 2 fouls. And she picks up her 3rd there. So Beheimer into Aguirre on the inbounds. Aguirre drives at the left and brings it back out. Wiltz on the right wing holds it and gives it right back across to Aguirre here as 1 minute gone in the 3rd. Wiltz looking cross court. Beheimer. It'll continue to be a really long Emporia High possession here. It's been over a minute. Aguirre trying to work around Ellis. It's poked free. Wiltz has it, and Wiltz is fouled now by Samaya Ellis, and that'll be the 3rd on Samaya Ellis. 6:37 to play in the quarter. It's into Davis, up top Aguirre. Aguirre in trouble, trying to find someone, and eventually we're going to get an Emporia timeout to keep it here. And continue along Spartan possession. We'll take a break after the timeout. Emporia High will keep it when we come back on ESN. Back from the timeout, and Emporia has held this ball now for almost a minute 20 and a minute and a half here with 6:20 to play in the quarter. Hefner works around, and can they pay it off? They'll have a chance to, as Hefner draws the foul, will go to the free throw line. And on this possession alone, they've drawn 3 Wichita Heights fouls here in the 3rd quarter. And it's the 3rd on Heaven Gilbert, who has 8 for Wichita Heights, as Hefner's first free throw is short and rolls off the side of the rim. Second one good from Hefner. She has 3. Her and Davis at 3 apiece lead the Lady Spartans, and it's the first score for Emporia out of the break. And again, ends that nearly minute and a half long possession. It's a quick one now for Heights. Is the three no good? Fight for the rebound. Jump. Oh, no, they're going to say out of bounds before the jump ball, so Heights will keep it. .6:05 to go, and it's in to Barber. Now deep three from Ellis. It misses off the front. Barber offensive rebound and lays it in underhanded.
Next for the score,
Kamira
Barber.
Barber with 8. Makes it 36-12. Aguirre bounces it into Hefner. Looking back across to Aguirre. Pump fakes from the wing. Back inside. Hefner now fight for the ball. Rips it away. Trying to work through. Gets it out to Aguirre. Is knocked down. No foul. Corner three from Wiltz. Short. And it's a foul down low. And I think that might be on Hefner. It is. And that's huge. That's going to be Hefner's 4th. So one more will send her out of the game.
That's Amelia Hefner, her 4th personal, first team foul. Spartan
And so that'll
substitutions,
warrant Ryan Howell and Audrey Cunningham going into the game now for Emporia. Barber off to Ellis on the left wing. Inside Gilbert. Back out in the corner. It's Barber bringing it in. Kicking out Jackson. Has already been a sharpshooter tonight, but that one's short. Emporia got lucky there as Aguirre will try to run the offense, but instead gives it back off to Bailey Wiltz with 5 to play in the third. Left wing is Aguirre, and she brings it back out. Up top, Wiltz fires, rolled off. Davis got the offensive rebound, and it's a foul on Evan Gilbert. And that's big for Wichita Heights, as that's the 4th on Gilbert. So one more will sit her down.
That was called on Heaven Gilbert. That's her 4th personal, 4th team foul.
And the 4th Wichita Heights foul here
Substitution, Hallie Clemens.
of quarter number 3. And I don't have Hallie Clemens coming in now for Gilbert. With 4:44 on the clock. Good find into Howe. Howe spinning and gets it out of Geary, who will hold it and set things back up. Cunningham off to Wiltz. Wiltz driving in up top. Howe off to Davis. Back out to Wiltz. Howe driving, searching. Emporia again continuing the theme of these long possessions. Finds Cunningham, no good through some contact. Got her own rebound. Aguirre has it, trying to work around 2 Falcons up top to Wiltz. Emporia continuing to just hold this thing. 4 minutes to go, and now they set it back up top again, and it ignites this home crowd a little bit. A lot of it the boys basketball team of the game tomorrow showing up well. Inside now to Davis, poked away. Barber dives on the floor. It's another hustle play from Davis, and that's a jump ball. It's going to stay with Emporia. Terry Brown and Destiny Mays now enter the game for Heights and for Walker and Ellis. So 3:54 to go in this one. Possessions have been limited, as we've talked about. It'll be Wiltz from the baseline, and now stolen by Brown. So the long possession comes up empty for Emporia. Wiltz poked it away, though, from Jackson, but couldn't quite keep it in. And the crowd has a word with the official there, but that one, even from this far away vantage point, did look like it was the right call out of bounds there. Mays off to Clemens with Davis on defense. Clemens will work around, bounces off Mays. The ball is free for a moment. They leave Mays open for 3. Goes off the top of the backboard. No good from the putback by Barber. And eventually it's no good again. Davis grabs the board. Wiltz pushing it quickly. Bounces it off to Cunningham in the corner. Across Aguirre. Aguirre, deep 3, no. Diving is Wiltz, and eventually goes out of bounds. Oh no, back to Cunningham. Backside Davis. I mean, you've got to admire the effort from Emporia coming out of the half. Wiltz for 3, misses. Davis fights for it again, and that's going to be a jump ball, which gives it back to Heights. But again, like we said, it is Sydney Beheimer now back into the game for Ryan Howe. And again, as we said, Emporia coming out with a lot of intensity out of the second half, and they've done a good job taking care of the ball, really kind of holding on to it for a while and not giving anything easy to Heights. Jackson inside to Brown. Good backside pass to Kennedy Jackson, who goes up and got it, plus the foul.
Basket is good by Kennedy Jackson.
And so Kennedy Jackson will go to the free throw line for one. And the
Sparks
foul's on
Jackson is
Davis,
her
and
fourth
Davis
personal,
picks up her
second team
fourth.
foul.
So both the 4 and 5 for Emporia,
Fast team
each with 4
substitutions.
fouls.
Ryan
And so the
Ellis
Lady
with
Spartans, who
Chris
already
Sparks.
lack size, are going to have to go even smaller here. And the free throw in for Kennedy Jackson, who's having a big game right now with 14 for the Heights Falcons. Aguirre on the logo. In trouble between Mays, and it's taken away. Jackson goes the other way. Backside, the pass poked away, and now Cunningham diving forward, and eventually it's out of bounds. Emporia High basketball. And we get an Emporia timeout after the stoppage. 39-12, Heights leads it. We'll take a break and be back on E-Town Sports Network. Well, it'll be Emporia High basketball out of the timeout for the Lady Spartans, as they have just 2 remaining now with 2:15 to go in the third. It's a Geary, pass knocked away by Mays. It'll stay with Emporia. Wiltz will handle it from the sideline. And trying to find somebody. Eventually it's into Cunningham. Cunningham off to Wiltz up top. Back across to Aguirre on the left wing. Now back to Cunningham. Again up top to Aguirre. Aguirre to Cunningham, poked away. Jackson nearly took it. Bounced off. Cunningham driving with space. Cross court. Mays made a good play on it. Mays will try to go coast to coast. Kicks off Jackson. Pump fakes the 3. Out to Ellis. Her 3 from the corner. In and out. And Aguirre grabs it for Emporia. Minute 25. It's up to Beheimer. Trying to work around Clemens. And now Brown took it. Wiltz grabbed it back. It's a jump ball. Emporia is going to keep it.
Jump ball possession Sparks. Falcons substitution. Amira Barber.
It's Barber back into the game now for Jackson. Beheimer looking, it's tipped away by Barber. Barber working around, kicks out to Mays for the transition 3 money.
Three-point basket is good by Destiny Mays.
It's a 3-pointer for Destiny Mays, and Heights extends it up to 42-12. It's poked away now and out of bounds. It'll stay with Emporia. Bounced into Aguirre, and Aguirre lost it. Heights is going to get it back.
Spartan substitution, Kinsley Hines.
Kinsley Hines in the game now for Jade Aguirre. Mays trying to work around Cunningham, goes through some contact, and it'll be a foul. It'll either be on Howe or Cunningham. We'll see who they got it on here. It's on Ryan Howe.
Foul is called on Ryan Howe, her first personal,
Just the first on Howe tonight here in the third quarter with 43.7 on the clock. Inbounds goes to Ellis. Mays on the wing across to Brown. Brown down the baseline, lost it, it goes out of bounds, and Emporia is going to have it. Cunningham runs the point for Emporia. Working around Ellis, a good drive, and misses on the floater from the left side of the cup. 15 on the clock. Heights will see if they try to hold it here. They don't look like they want to. It's off to Clemens, who takes the mid-range shot, no good. Clock in single digits now down to 5. Wiltz working at the buzzer, no good, and right for the rebound, and the buzzer will sound before anything else can happen. So that does it through 3, 42-12. It's a Heights lead. We'll take a break and be back for the final 8 on E-Town Sports Network. Fourth quarter action getting underway, and it is Samaya Ellis bringing it down for Heights, who will have it to start the final quarter here in day 1 of the Glacier's Edge. The 3 rolls off from Ellis. Davis trying to fight for the rebound between 2 Falcons. Eventually he goes out of bounds on the hustle from Jackson trying to save it, and Emporia will have it here with 7:35 to play. It is Aguirre at the logo. Inside to Wiltz, and Wiltz drew the foul on Barber, and that is the 4th on Barber, so 1 more and she's done. There's 4 on Heaven Gilbert, who's in the game as well right now for Heights. But right now, head coach Kip Pulliam decides not to make any changes with the clock ticking below 7 now. Wiltz into Aguirre. Aguirre off to Wiltz. Wiltz inside Davis. Now there's a foul down low. And it's on Gilbert. And that's going to send Gilbert out of the basketball game. Gilbert now will foul out with 8 points, being the second leading, or tied for the second leading scorer on the night with Kamira Barber. And that will have Jocelyn Rose coming into the game now for the first time for Heights, a 5'9" sophomore. Gears struggling to find someone, eventually finds Hefner. Hefner will try to work around Rose and now gives back out to Aguirre. Aguirre off to Davis. Left wing, Wiltz as 4 subs go to the table for Heights. Davis, floater inside, rolls out, putback is good. Macy Davis with 5. She leads Emporia and makes it 42-14. Spartans strike first here in the 4th quarter. Right wing is Barber. Barber inside, kicks out Jackson. Thought about another. Again, she's been a sharpshooter tonight. Now she steps back and takes one. It was short. And Davis hauls in the tough board. 5:30 to play. Geary holds for Emporia. We saw a lot of long Emporia possessions in the 3rd. And looking to turn towards the same here. Now it's poked away by Jackson. Jackson brings it out, crosses over, goes down the baseline, and it got kicked down the baseline. So Heights will keep it and now be able to make the big change. It's Brown and Mays returning. It's Merciful Brown and Josiah Dingle into the game for the first time for Heights as it goes over the top to Rose, off to Mays on the left wing. Steps back, takes the 3, and it's nothing but net. Destiny Mays has been a sharp shooter as well. 9 points on 3 threes, 45-14. Geary on the corner to Hefner. And now poked away. Dingle goes the other way and goes in, no good. And now it's a foul. It's Miracle Brown.
Returning for the Falcons, Hallie Clemens.
Her first, and Hallie Clemens now in the game for Heights. Halfway through the final quarter. Right wing is Wiltz. And it's poked away. Rose goes the other way. And Cunningham's in pursuit. Aguirre poked it away, but not without a foul.
Foul is called on Jay McEwen. That's her first personal, first team foul.
The first on Aguirre of the night. So it'll be Dingle holding it from the baseline into Clemens. Up top to Brown. Brown driving, crossing over. Wiltz poked it away. Geary's going to have to work through some traffic. Eventually realized that and bounces it off to Wiltz. 180 seconds on the clock now. Wiltz goes down the baseline. Bouncing it out to Cunningham up top Aguirre. And now they try to bounce it in. There's some trouble. It gets out to Davis. Davis driving through, has 5. It's no good, and now it goes off the foot of Rose. Emporia is going to keep it as Kinsley Hines and Ryan Howe enter the game. Wiltz looking into Howe, and it's knocked away. Dingle goes the other way, trying to go coast to coast. Brown gets it after it's poked out. Now to Miracle Brown, who knocks down the 2-pointer, 47-14. Inside Howe, it's no good. The pass goes a little wayward, but Dingle's able to haul it in with 2 minutes to go now on the clock. Up top, it is over to Brown, trying to get it to Rose. It eventually goes out of bounds. It's bounced into Hines, right back to Cunningham. .90 on the clock. Davis driving inside, out to Wiltz. Wiltz for the 3, had too much. Brown will hold it for a while. Brown hold it off to Miracle Brown, and then No good on the mid-range shot from Clemens. Up top Rose, it's a long two, and it's no good. .45 seconds to play. 47-14, it's been all Heights tonight. But again, as we said, Lady Spartans really have had some good fight in this one, as the foul's going to be on the floor from Davis driving in.
Foul is called on Hallie Clemens, her first personal for
It's
the
the
team foul.
first foul on Clemens. It's knocked away. Wiltz is able to get it back. 15 on the clock, and Hines traveled. Clock down to 10, and likely Heights will just kind of hold this one and dribble it out as the game will end. And Heights will win it 47-14. Lady Spartans fall to the #1 team in 6A. They're in the latest KBCA rankings. 47-14, the final score. It was a good fight from the Lady Spartans. And, you know, at times they gave this Heights team a good amount to handle, but it wasn't enough. We'll take a break and then be back here with the final stats and post-game on E-Town Sports Network. You're watching Spartan Basketball. Well, back here at Emporia High, it's Wichita Heights taking home the 47-14 win here at day one of the Glacier's Edge. And that will have the Lady Spartans taking on Wichita South tomorrow. Again, a reminder, E-Town Sports Network will be over in Wichita here for the boys' game at Independent, but we'll have updates from here thanks to the good old Huddle Cam stream here in Spartan Gymnasium. We'll be able to kind of multitask and keep an eye on that one tomorrow, which should be a good one. But leading the way for the Lady Spartans, it was Macy Davis with 5, Adea Hefner with 3, and then 2 points each from Aguirre, Beheimer, and Wiltz. And then for Wichita Heights, it was Kennedy Jackson, the only one in double digits with 14, and then Destiny Mays had 9. Gilbert and Barber each had 8, and then Walker 6 and 2 from Miracle Brown. But again, like we said, Emporia High put up a pretty good fight. You know, a lot of times where it seemed like Heights was really going to kind of run away with things, and I mean, it was a big victory, but it most definitely could have been a lot worse. But the Lady Spartans really hung in there in the second half, played good defense, held in there on offense, and took care of the ball. And a lot of good things to look forward to, again, when you have a good opportunity there against Wichita South tomorrow, who took the loss to Derby. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much does it here from Emporia here on E-Town Sports Network. Signing off, I'm Jay Van Art. Have a good night.